Так, уважаемые члены Государственной
Dear members of the State Commission,
господа, которые здесь
dear ladies and gentlemen, everybody who's in the room,
на заседании нашей
here today at the State Commission meeting, we are here to approve the prime and backup crew composition
Союза ТМА,
for Soyuz TMA
Совет глав
22,
докторов,
the
техруководства
General Designer Review, the Technical Committee
Федерального
of
космического
the Federal Space
и
Agency,
Государственной
as
комиссии
well as the State Commission,
или доклады
having discussed the reports and the technical status reports
корабля,
on the booster and the spacecraft. Hereby verified that everything's per schedule of the launch pad.
число,
The launch to take place on the 14th, with the docking on the 16th.
большая работа в
There's
течение.
plenty of work to be done during a 122-day mission.
И вчера в соответствии с
And yesterday, per the
мы завершили.
pre-launch activity schedule, we finished our first launch day.
Я, как уже сказал, у нас сомнений
As I said, we have no doubt in our minds that both the rocket
и
and the vehicle are ready. All the activities have been done at the appropriate level of quality and reliability.
уверены также и в знании
And we are confident
экипажа, тем более
as far as the knowledge of the crew is concerned, especially considering that the crew had a broader, bigger, more in-depth opportunity to study and prepare for this mission.
их предстоит.
It's a major mission that's ahead of them, especially considering the
Придется
tighter handover schedule,
говорили.
as we already mentioned before.
Поэтому давайте послушаем
So with that, let's hear the report on the readiness of the crew
космонавт имени Гагарина,
from the head of the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center,
дублирующий.
Mr. Krikalev.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Уважаемые члены государства,
Dear members of the State Commission,
для выполнения космического
in order to perform the spaceflight per ISS 29/30
космическую
program,
станцию, у нас
on their way to
составов.
the International Space Station, we had the following crew members
Командир
finish their training. Anton Shkaplerov, the Soyuz commander, station flight engineer.
Анатолий Иванишин,
Anatoly Ivanishin,
борт-инженер корабля
vehicle flight engineer, station flight engineer.
и Дэниел
And Daniel Burbank,
борт-инженер 2 корабля
FE2 for Soyuz vehicle, and the ISS 29 flight engineer 2 and ISS 30 commander. The backup crew consists of Gennady Padalka,
командир корабля «Союз» и борт
Soyuz vehicle commander, station flight engineer,
Сергей Ревин,
Sergei Revin,
борт-инженер корабля
vehicle flight engineer,
станции,
station flight engineer,
и Джозеф Акап,
and Joseph Akaba,
борт-инженер 2 корабля
FE2 for the Soyuz vehicle,
инженер станции.
and station flight engineer.
Все космонавты сдали установленные
All the crew members have passed their qualification exams,
комплексные тренировки.
have completed their integrated simulations.
Медицинской комиссии
For the
все члены
Chief Medical Commission finding, they're all deemed ready for the space mission.
на комиссии по определению
The
готовности
Interagency Commission on the crew readiness
в Центре подготовки космонавтов
that took place at the GCTC have reviewed
дала заключение.
the results of their training
20
and
экспедиций
decided that ISS 29 and 30 crew members
корабле «Союз»
are ready for their mission aboard the
Эджик
Soyuz TMA-22
продолжить подготовку
and their mission on the station.
технической позиции. Программа предстартовой подготовки
The pre-launch program
и на
has been
основании
completed.
вышесказанного
Based on everything I've just said,
предлагается
we would like to
комиссию утвердить.
propose that the State Commission confirm the prime crew consisting of
Командир корабля
vehicle commander
Каплеров Антон,
Anton Shkaplerov,
борт-инженер корабля Иванишин Анатолий
Anatoly Ivanishin,
и
vehicle flight engineer, and Dan Burbank, FE2 for the vehicle. And the backup crew consisting of
Геннадий Падалко,
vehicle commander Gennady Padalka,
Сергей Ревин
Sergei Revin,
и борт-инженер
the
2
flight
корабля
engineer
Факаба.
for the vehicle, and FE2 for the vehicle, Joseph Akaba. That's all I have.
Представляется
Thank you. Our next speaker is Mr. Lapoda
готовность ракетно-космического
on the readiness of the launch facility.
Докладываю,
I'm here to report to the State Commission.
проведены все необходимые
We have completed
регламентные работы.
all the required scheduled activities,
Комплекс
the launch pad, the launch facility at large, the vehicle, the rocket are ready.
вопросов препятствий
There are no issues
продолжению работы.
impeding our subsequent activities, as far as we know.
Спасибо. Предлагается Государственной комиссии
Thank you.
утвердить составы
Let's
экипажа
confirm
космического корабля «Союз»
crew composition
в составе основной
consisting of
командир
prime
корабля
crew,
Шкаплер,
vehicle commander Anton Shkaplerov,
Иванишин Анатолий,
Anatoly Ivanishin, flight engineer,
инженер второй Бербинг Дэниел,
Dan Burbank, FE2, and the backup crew consisting of
корабля
vehicle commander Gennady Padalka,
борт-инженера Ревина Сергея,
flight engineer Sergei Revin,
борт-инженера второго
flight engineer 2, Joseph Akaba.
Пунктом решения госкомиссии
Item 2 of our findings is to continue all the
на основании доклада
scheduled activities based on Mr. Lapota's report,
заправки и пуска установки.
getting ready for the fueling activities and the subsequent launch.
Нам утвердить.
If there's no dissenting opinions, let's
Я теперь
have these be the official findings. So congratulations. First of all, it goes to the Prime crew.
поздравляю, которые
The two
долго шли к этому,
rookies that have been on their long path
стартуют.
towards this day, and this is their
У нас нет
first time around.
вы
We have no doubt
всеми
that you'll be able to perform all your activities during the 122-day
программ.
mission. You will perform all the tasks
Предстоит выполнить.
that are set for you as part of that program.
Как вы сами
It'll be somewhat difficult for the first 40 days
видите, второй части
up until the second complement of your increment arrives at the station.
штатную эксплуатацию станции, потом вы
When the station
более спокойно.
proceeds into its full-on nominal operations, then you'll be able to take a breather.
Руководитель
Our next speaker is Mr. Rogozhnikov
Спасибо.
on behalf of the Internet
Анатолий,
IBMP Institute
по поручению всех медицинских
in the
работников
Federal
поздравить
Medical Agency.
практически с окончанием подготовки
Congratulations, fellas.
финишную прямую.
You're on your
Вам
final few steps towards launch. Let there be as few off-nominal situations as possible. Be patient, be calm, keep medicine in mind.
чтобы даже 122
Countermeasures is the ground rule
успехом надо
for the successful 122-day mission. Always keep countermeasures inside.
и до встречи.
Take care, good luck, and see you back here.
Могу не сказать и ваш
Gennady,
экипаж.
as far as your backup crew is concerned, I can't help but saying good luck.
Выполнение всех желаний.
Make sure that everything that you have planned comes true.
Спасибо.
Thank you.
Спасибо, Вячеслав Александрович. Слово представляется
Thank you, Mr. Rogozhnikov.
Нурмахановичу,
Our next speaker
представителю
is the
президента.
special representative of the President of the
Спасибо.
Kazakhstan Republic
Уважаемые
at Baikonur.
экипажи,
Thank you. Dear crews, congratulations.
хочу пожелать вам успешного выполнения
I'd like to wish that success accompanies you in your accomplishing of all the tasks, as difficult as they may be.
поставленных перед
As
вами.
difficult as they may be, everybody who's here in the room
Желаем вам
has no doubt that you'll be able to pull it off. So
земного,
good luck.
удачного выполнения всех поставленных
Make sure that it's as
я намерен себе выполнить.
down to earth,
Желаем, чтобы скорее
in the calm, most logical sense of the word as possible,
также
and then have a successful return. And when you come back, we'll be here to welcome you.
Представляется Сафреддини Майклу Томасу, директор
Next speaker is Michael Safardini,
Thank you.
NASA ISS Program Manager.
It's good to see you here tonight. Congratulations on getting to this point and being ready for this mission. As was mentioned, you're embarking on a relatively unique mission all the way across the board. You're starting off with the first three-person direct crew handover that we've done in some time in the program, and with only 4 days to get the handover done, you guys are going to be very busy. And you have a couple other unique tasks. You're going to welcome the first commercial cargo vehicle to ISS, and that should be very exciting. We're going to change out all the main computers on the USOS, and that'll keep you busy. And of course, you have the Russian segment EVA that'll be very exciting as well. So you're very prepared for your mission. You're well trained. You guys are ready to go. I look forward to seeing you on orbit. Good luck. Godspeed.
Теперь послушаем
Next, we'll hear some words from the crew.
Антона Николаевича Каплера.
First, we'll hear some words from Mr. Shkaplerov, the vehicle commander for Prime Crew.
Благодарить
First of all, I'd like to say thank you
управление Российского космического
to
агентства,
the Russian Space Agency management
доверили нам выполнить этот
for
полет.
having entrusted us with this mission. It really and truly
По обычной
will be
структуре
difficult and different.
4-5 дней на передачу.
Namely, we'll have only 4-day
Заверить, что экипаж
period for handover, but I can assure you that the crew is fully ready.
космического
And as the station,
в этом
as the vehicle commander, I am confident of that.
Спасибо, Антон Николаевич. Так, Иванишин.
Thank you, Anton. And Anatoly, you're next.
Я хочу поблагодарить всех тех, кто
I'd like to thank everybody who had
организации
been
приведения
immediately involved in our training
к космическому полету.
and getting us ready for the space mission, to all those who have been designing, building, fine-tuning all the space assets that will be operating literally a day from now. And I can assure you that we'll make the best we can of an effort to make good on your promise.
Спасибо. Слово представляется Бербинку Дэниелу,
Thank you.
борт-инженеру.
Mr. Burbank, Engineer 2.
Инженеров, инструкторов и специалистов
I want to thank the engineers, instructors, and the specialists for their
из
efforts.
наш корабль «Союз»
for the Soyuz vehicle, for the booster,
Equipage,
and for my crew.
die hebben treated, volgens
ISS 29 and 30 are fully ready, and thank you for all the efforts you've made. Thank you.
В заключение я еще
Thank you. Well, in conclusion,
Конечно.
I want to say,
Анатолию и Дэниелу
and I address this to Anatoly,
тем, что вам доверена такая ответственная миссия.
Anton, and Dan
Прошли
for this
все, что только можно на земле.
mission that's ahead of you.
И что вы
You're ready for it. Everything that you've been doing has been steps towards successful completion of this mission. Anything that may
22 суток.
be coming your way
Конечно, я
during the upcoming 122 odd days,
у старта.
you'll be able to pull it off, have a great, successful launch, and then a soft landing.
Уважайте.
We'll be seeing you off, and then we'll be looking forward to having you back. Thank you very much, and congratulations.
Дорогие друзья,
Dear friends,
старт ракеты-носителя «Союз» с транспортным
the Soyuz launch vehicle
МА-20
launch carrying Soyuz TMA-22
ноября 2000
is scheduled to take place on the 14th of the month at 10:14
по местному времени
local time
Байконур.
from the Cosmodrome Baikonur. The State Commission has just confirmed the prime and backup crew composition
29-30
for ISS 29,
на международную
ISS
космическую
30
станцию.
increment.
Позвольте представить основной экипаж.
Allow me to present the prime crew: Anton Shkapler, Roscosmos, remember, Soyuz commander, station flight engineer, Anatoly Ivanishin, Roscosmos,
Инженер «Союз», борт-инженер
Soyuz and station flight engineer,
Daniel
Burbank,
астронавт,
NASA astronaut,
борт-инженер 2 корабля «Союз»,
vehicle flight engineer 2,
МКС-20,
ISS flight engineer 29, ISS 29, ISS 30 commander. Backup crew consisting of Gennady Padalka, Roscosmos cosmonaut,
«Союз»,
vehicle commander,
МКС-29,
station flight engineer for
Сергей
ISS 29 and ISS 30 commander.
инженер
Sergei Revin, flight engineer for the vehicle and the station. Joseph Akaba,
НАСА,
NASA astronaut.
2 корабля «Союз»,
Soyuz
инженер МКС.
flight engineer 2, station flight engineer.
Мы зададим вопрос.
Before we ask
Хотела бы вам
our crew members the questions that we have, I would like to
такого человечка, который приехал
introduce you to this
Бакана,
teeny little man,
Максим,
Maxim Baikalov,
победителем международного
who is the winner of the International
всего 5 лет.
Space Drawing Contest. He's only 5 years old.
Рисунок
Nevertheless, his drawing design became the basis of the patch design for this crew.
чтобы пообщаться.
He is here to talk to the cosmonauts and astronauts and enjoy the launch.
Максим, подойди,
Максим.
пожалуйста, к нам.
Please come up here. Tell the crew something.
Вам удачного полета,
Have a successful flight
чтобы вы быстрее
and
на Землю.
come back here on Earth quicker.
Всего самого хорошего.
All the best to you.
Спасибо большое, Максим.
Подойди,
Thank you so much, Maxim.
чтобы экипаж приложил руку к стеклу,
Can we have the hands touching?
через стекло.
Привет,
Maxim, you can talk to the crew through the glass.
И
Сейчас
тебе.
я
Hi, Max. It's good to see you. Thanks to your wonderful drawing, we have our wonderful
Ну, Максим,
uh,
посмотри,
spacecraft design.
всех посмотри. Вот,
Max, would you take a look at everybody?
Улыбайся.
Just like that.
улыбайся.
Smile.
А теперь другой ручкой. Приложить, пожалуйста. Другую ручку. Ручки поменяй.
Now the left hand.
И туда посмотри.
And look just like that. And smile.
Мы надеемся, что из Максима вырастет
We hope that you grow up to be
и знаменитый художник, то, по крайней мере, космонавт.
a cosmonaut, at least, if not a famous artist. And Max, I would like to take this opportunity.
Фотография,
We have a somewhat unofficial picture of our crew.
ее именно тебе,
I will sign it
и пока мы будем выполнять
and address it to you so that while we're on our space mission
всегда.
for several months, you'll be able to have this picture to look at and remember
Мы вместе встречались, ты видел
that we met
наши ракеты.
and you saw us go into space on our vehicle.
Максим,
Thank you so much. Max,
давай. Молодец. Молодец, Максим.
good job, Max.
А теперь мы перейдем к традиционной
Let's proceed to the traditional Q&A.
экипажу. Пожалуйста,
And
говорите,
ask
кому
the
вы
crew some
задаете
questions.
вопрос и
When
представьте.
you come up here, please present yourself and then address your question to a specific crew member.
Здравствуйте, НТВ.
Good morning,
Сегодня
NTV channel,
Антон,
Gary Хмельницкий. Anton,
Не секрет, что носитель Союз-У
it's no secret that the Soyuz U booster used the same third stage,
я возвращаюсь к аварии космического грузовика.
same stage
Да, там
engines
себе нештатно.
that performed anomaly on Progress launch. Are you threatened by that at all?
Это ЦУ со стороны.
Have you been given your special tasks from the designer standpoint as far as what you're to be expecting?
Ваш старт был.
And because of the same anomaly, your launch has been delayed from September.
Это программа экспериментов.
Did your science program suffer or get more intense?
На новых экспериментах.
You'll have 3 brand new experiments that you'll be performing on the station. What are those experiments? And the last question,
Кому-то из вас предстоит выйти.
I know that one of you is to be performing an EVA.
Он или кто-то.
Is it going to be one of you that already has that experience, Dan, or is there going to be somebody else on the crew?
Значит,
Well,
по порядку.
let's take it in an orderly fashion. There was like 3 questions there.
Что если
So
какая-то
first one,
и неуверенность в нашем
is there any concern or any doubt in our minds as far as the vehicle or as far as the booster that's going to be launching our vehicle, rather? We have no
черных мыслей.
dark
Мы
thoughts.
уверены в нашей технике.
We are
Сейчас мы
confident
общались с руководством
in our equipment. We talked to Roscosmos and Energia management, where we discussed these issues. These are the 2 organizations that are overseeing
после вот этого неудачного пуска.
and supervising
Пуск
the booster preparedness.
прогресс.
Plus, we had another Progress launch in the meantime that was launched by the same exact booster. Everything was nominal as before.
Пусков, поэтому это
There's over 100 launches under its belt, so it was a one-off situation.
проверка. То есть
What's been made more intense is the checkout procedures.
в цехах на
There are cameras installed in all of the shops throughout all the facilities involved. So every step, every bolt that gets tightened gets supervised and
летит в космос.
checked out 3 or 4 times before it gets signed off as ready for flight. As far as our program, we have a great amount of scientific experiments, over 200,
Российской
about 100
по 50
for
примерно.
Roscosmos, and then 50 for me, 50 for Anatoly.
Или
Some of them we stagger and take turns, or there are some that are uniquely designed for us individually.
несколько, по-моему, интересных экспериментов.
I have a few very interesting experiments. For example,
Спутник.
the microsatellite.
Его заключается в том, что
The point is
работаем себя на орбите корабль «Прогресс»,
the
который
progress that's about to depart the station,
загрузим уже не нужно.
that usually gets stuffed with cargo that's no longer needed and gets burned on re-entry. We'll actually have another mission. Instead of the docking port, on the docking port, we'll install a microsatellite, the cheapest microsatellite.
Корабль отстыкуется.
After that, the vehicle will undock from the station, will raise the orbit by 100 kilometers,
Спутник.
and then will automatically shoot off the satellites. The satellite that will be in flight for several years.
Не буду вдаваться.
It's chock full of all kinds of equipment. I'm not going to go into detail, but it'll be doing a lot of good for the benefit of our country and our space nations and the Earth.
Выход буду выполнять
EVA-wise, there will be an EVA. There will be a spacewalk.
День влюбленных с февраля.
Mr. Kononenko and I will go EVA on Valentine's Day.
Выход интересный.
Easy to remember. It'll be an interesting spacewalk.
Перенос у стрелы.
We'll have to remove the Strela boom from DC-1 to MRM-2.
Время есть
And if there's any time or strength remaining in us,
защищать станцию,
we'll
устанавливать
be
метеоритные.
increasing the station defense, i.e. the micrometeoroid shields, and a couple of experiments that will tell us
Потому что сейчас идут разговоры
how the station is doing and how much longer into the future it can be extended, because right now it's one of the hot topics.
Ну, вот, может, что-то Анатолий добавит.
How far into the future we can extend the station's operational life. Maybe Anatoly can add something. Thank you. Let's
Следующий вопрос.
make sure that we only ask one question at a time for the future. Next.
Вопрос Анатолию.
Question to Anatoly.
Анатолий тоже из Иркутска.
We're from Irkutsk, and so are you. It's your hometown. We're here to see you off.
Первый раз летите в космос.
This is your first flight, and so the question is, what will you be remembering as far as your home city, Irkutsk, is concerned? And will you be willing to look down from the station and see your hometown?
Конечно, я прожил в
Of
Иркутске.
course, I've lived in Irkutsk
Поступил в летное училище.
up until I
И мне есть что
got
вспомнить.
admitted to the Aviation Academy.
школу
I graduated high school there.
в институте
I went to the institute there.
парашютным спортом в Иркутске.
I was an air trooper there, an amateur trooper, air trooper.
Как я первый раз,
And after I failed to
мне сказали, что ты не
get
перспективный.
admitted to the institute, I was told that there's no future in you as an athlete. And then I got
Студенческое конструкторское
involved
план,
with the
штаб-квартира которого находится.
student aviation club.
Планы
We were building gliders.
устанавливали.
We would be the ones breaking them and then
Город
rebuilding them. So, there's a lot of memories. It's my hometown, and I will have the possibility to look down on it from the station.
чем трасса МКС, но тем не менее,
Even though
так думаю, что у меня будет.
Вопрос
the latitude will be a little off, but I will have an opportunity.
мальчишкам, вот те,
Okay,
которые тоже...
what would you want to say as your parting words to the boys from Irkutsk who are dying to follow the path that you pursued? I want to say to them is
Что им интересно и
aspire
поставленных целей.
towards what you're being driven for and make sure that you achieve your goals as you're doing that. Thank you. I think you can expand that and address that to all of the boys everywhere. Please make sure your questions are loud and clear. Anybody else?
Готовы. Так, Сереж.
Hello, Tom Barton, RT. A question for the three crew going up on Monday. After Progress's crash in August, how nervous are you all about this mission?
Перевод вопроса, пожалуйста.
Вопрос уже был, на самом деле. Насколько после трагедии с прогрессом, из-за чего отложился ваш старт, насколько вы обеспокоены, потому что была использована та же самая третья ступень?
Вопрос уже повторяется, но, может быть, специально Дэниел ответит.
The question has already been asked, but maybe Dan will take another stab at it.
Наше дело совсем трудное.
Well,
Our business the things that we do are certainly difficult. Space flight is difficult, but it is worthwhile.
Ближе.
Извините. So, and I would also make one point. I think we feel very good about the analysis and the work that was done to verify the integrity of the third stage, to verify the quality of the rockets. A lot of very, very difficult and diligent work was done to verify that the rocket's good, and I'm not nervous about it. I would also say that our rockets, our spacecraft, are different. They're unique from the configuration that the Progress vehicle has, in that ours have a launch abort system. So whereas the Progress was not able to make it to orbit, had that had happened on a crewed vehicle, a manned Soyuz vehicle, that's well within the capability of the launch abort system. But I feel very good about the work that's been done on the rocket, and we're ready to go.
Francisco Guaita for Spanish RT. I would like to ask about Mars, the topic about Mars. There was an experiment, Mars Piazzot, also with the rocket of Phobos. I would like to have your feeling about how far we are from Mars and about what is your sensation in this moment about Mars.
Вопрос экипажу, значит, уже был проведен эксперимент Марс-500. И вопрос, насколько вы знаете об этом эксперименте и как далеко вы от Марса чувствуете себя на данный момент?
Мы, конечно, интересуемся все, что...
Of course, we're real interested in everything space-wise, especially considering the experiments that allowed the humankind to take a step forward. I particularly have the Mars 500 experiment in mind. We know it is not just an experiment. Our friends, cosmonauts, were there for the 2-week and the 100-day period. Increments Artemyev and Ryazanskiy.
Эксперимент прошел удачно. Ребята
I can tell you that the experiment has proven to be a success. They came out in sound and
делаются выводы по
sound health.
Эксперименту. И он, конечно, говорит о том, что
And this experiment overall tells us that, you know, the Mars mission will be difficult, but not unachievable. As far as
немножко ближе к
how far removed from Mars we'll be envisioning ourselves, but, you know, we are going to be 400 kilometers closer.
Doing experiments, and especially when those experiments are related with Mars. And we have already completed an experiment related to Mars program when it took 100 days and 2 weeks, and our guys Oleg Artemyev and Sergei Ryazansky took part in those experiments, and experiments were successfully completed, and they felt healthy and were in a good mood. And how far do we feel from Mars? I can say that we are going to be 400 kilometers closer to Mars after our arrival to the International Space Station.
Спасибо. Так, а теперь детский вопрос.
Now the question from the kids.
Здравствуйте, я Егор Клинаев.
Hi, my name is Yegor Klinaev.
Космоса. Я хотел бы задать вопрос.
I have a question for Anton. Anton,
Где и с каким космонавтом вы первый раз в своей жизни встретились?
where was it that you met your first cosmonaut, and who was it?
очень приятно тебя видеть. Мы
Hi, Yegor.
в звездном
Good to see you again. We did cross paths in Star City. Your question is fascinating. I'd say the first cosmonaut that I met
Цыблиев Василий Васильевич
was Vasily Tsabliev.
в центре.
The first time I arrived at the training
Получилось, что мы
center,
столкнулись в медицинском управлении
I ran into him at the medical building.
в очередной
He was going through some medical research and examination,
писать заявление.
and I was only there to submit my application to be selected
Спасибо за
for
ответ.
basic training. Thank you for your answer. I would like to wish all of the crew members good luck
Спасибо. Я хочу еще добавить, что
and take care.
встречи с руководством
Thank you.
космоса
At the meeting with Roscosmos management, I was presented this
с логотипом
Zero-G toy
карусель, где как
with the Carousel TV logo
есть передача, которая называется «Пора в космос».
that you're here representing.
Сам канал
Yegor, it's a good channel.
Кира, она
And the space show that you watch, you know, my daughter Kira, she loves to watch that show 24/7.
где что-то показывает то, что
That show about space exploration that shows us what her dad's doing, and all the other shows on that
же игрушка, которая прошла необходимую
channel.
инфекцию, она будет стартовать с
Same exact toy as this one
орбиту.
has already been disinfected and
Как мы состыкуемся, я перенесу ее куда-нибудь
put in the orbit,
где-то
put in the vehicle,
себе,
and I will have that accompany me during my mission.
пока будет летать космическая станция.
And I think as long as the station's up there, it will be up there with it.
Мне когда дарили
And so when I was given this toy,
дочери Кире, сейчас попрошу
I wanted to,
кому-нибудь, чтобы
per that request, share this toy with my daughter, and I'll ask my doctor to do that for me. Thank you very much, and we're sure that your reports from the orbit will be really fascinating for all the kids that are watching that show. Moving on to the next question.
После детских как-то уже...
You know, when we're done with the kids' question, it's kind of hard to follow up.
Rob Navius from NASA Television for Dan Burbank. Good to see you all here. Dan, you're the first astronaut who will launch in the post-space shuttle era. What are your thoughts on this particular milestone, its significance at this particular crossroads in human spaceflight history? And I have a follow-up.
Rob, it's great to see you. Welcome back to Baikonur. I know you've been here many times, and I guess I would say that for me, I'm very encouraged about where we're going from now. Number one, we have got a great international program in the form of the International Space Station, and thousands of people all over the world that make this possible. It's 1 million pounds of hardware and a spectacular laboratory, and to be able to have the honor and the privilege to fly with two great friends in the form of Anton and Anatoly, and be able to spend time aboard the space station and perform the experiments in science that is really the hallmark of what space station was built for, is going to be just spectacular. All of us that flew on the space shuttle were sad to see it retired, and sad to see the effect that it has in the near term to our space building workforce. But over the horizon here, very shortly, I believe we're going to have a whole host of different ways to get to space, many of them commercial. We'll always have the Soyuz. We'll always have vehicles. There's new vehicles being built. Of course, China's flying manned-rated vehicles, and there's a number of them in development in the U.S. and many other places. And to me, as I look down the road, those are the things that are going to make it possible for us to continue to thrive in low Earth orbit, to go beyond low Earth orbit to the Moon, asteroids, and Mars. And I think we're going to do all those things, and we're going to do all those together. And I really look forward to that. So I'm very, very optimistic.
And a quick follow-up for Dan. With an expedited handover coming up from Mike Fossum and his crew, and a compressed 4-month increment for you and your crewmates, what will be the most complex element of your 4 months in orbit?
I think the hardest thing will be for us to quickly adapt and make the most advantage we can of the short couple of days that we'll have on board with Sergei and with Mike and with Satoshi. But I think we've made good progress before this, spending a lot of time talking with them, in some cases almost on a daily basis. And we've done a lot of the handover work with them ahead of time. I still anticipate it'll be a challenge for us, but we've got a big team on the ground. We
have a great crew on the ground here at Baikonur, in Russia, in Japan, and the United States, and Europe. And I think that everything will be successful
We have a very
during our flight and mission.
a great team, very experienced team on the ground in Russia here, Baikonur, that are helping us launch. In Japan, Europe, Canada. And with the help of that great team, it's going to be a great flight.
Спасибо. Следующий вопрос.
Thank you. Next question, please. Question for Anton.
Техники имени трижды Героя Советского Союза Ивана Никитича Кожедуба.
Kazhadub Aviation Center, where you're trained and served. Question from that facility. You see that there's a lot of aviation-friendly folks in here. You know, the folks that have known you for a long time, since your first humble steps. You know, your, you know, the people that studied with you and graduated with you and moved on to bigger tasks from there. What would you say to those who have dedicated their lives to everything aviation-wise? Thank you, Sergey. Thank you for the kind words. What I want to say to the little kids that are growing up to follow in our steps: be good, be kind, be wise humans. Make sure that your parents have a lot to be proud of. Maybe the whole country that you represent will be proud of you. Maybe the whole planet. And I also want to say hello to my to the center that I love, the Aviation Show Center. To my co-pilots, to my friends, to the folks that I studied with and learned from. And Natalie is a pilot just like me. Daniel is a helicopter pilot, so, you know, as folks who have a lot of aviation experience, we want to say to everybody who is inspired by that to stay inspired by that. Hi, my name is Maxim Andreev. I'm the winner of the best question contest from the Carousel TV network. I have a question for Anatoly. Would you like to see aliens when you're in space?
Но это, конечно, было бы очень интересно.
It would be a thrill, of course.
Все мои коллеги, которые слетали до сих пор.
But all of my colleagues that have flown before me, you know, never shared a story, never said a word about anything like that existing. So I have no way to believe. But, you know, we'll see. I have 4 months during which maybe I'll be able to do that. And if I do see anything like that, I'll make sure to report on that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Еще вопросы есть у нас?
Do we have any more questions to the crew? We do.
Jeremy Diesel from KHOU in Houston for you, Dan. How do you anticipate this being different from the other 2 times you've made it up into space in the confined space of Soyuz as opposed to the shuttle?
Well, we don't spend a lot of time. Hi, Jeremy. By the way, welcome. We don't spend that much time actually in the Soyuz. It does most of its work for us, acting as a lifeboat, always ready to return should we need it on board. But I think the biggest difference for me is launching on a space shuttle and spending 2 weeks on space station. On both occasions, I knew that 2 weeks wasn't enough, and so I knew I wanted to do long duration. So I think the big challenge for us. For us space shuttle flyers is to get ourselves adapted towards thinking about a space mission not as a sprint but as a long marathon kind of a race. So, but I think it's going to be just wonderful to actually spend enough time there to actually be good at what you're doing, to be good at living in space, and to have a part in the science. You know, the shuttle's been building the space station, and the shuttle crews have been doing that, and I got a chance to do it twice. But to be able to do the science and live and work there, just be absolutely wonderful.
Thank you very much for this question. We're approaching the end of our press conference, and what we want to say to the crew. There's a lot of people in the world that have been watching your training and are looking forward to your successful launch on the 14th of November. We're getting a lot of calls and a lot of presents for you. What I wanted to show you, Vitaly Petrov, Formula One racer. The Rocket Guy is one of his nicknames. This is his portrait with the autograph. And, you know, he, as a ground-based rocket, wanted to wish good luck to the actual rocket man, you know, for a successful launch and a safely, timely return. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you so much to the crew for being so patient and thorough in answering. To the Prime crew, have a safe flight, and then a great and successful launch in March to the backup crew. Thank you so much. And now a traditional picture. Prime crew. Please stand so that we can see the GTC logo in the back, and move the chairs out.
Да, будьте добры, дублирующий основной экипаж
дублирующий вместе, а потом уже основной.
First, both of the crews, and then just the Prime, under the GCTC logo.
Чуть-чуть, нет, чуть-чуть, да, чтобы по центру. Поплотнее друг к другу.
Center yourselves and get in closer.
Ребят, ну, сделайте вот так. Да. А дублеры?
Thumb up. It goes both for the Prime and the backup crew.
Отлично. И можно теперь
Excellent.
экипаж.
And now just the Prime crew.
Так, все отлично. Так, ну сначала серьезно, потом улыбаемся.
First you look grim and then you smile.
Все. Большое всем спасибо.
Thank you very much.